Hello and welcome to episode 43 of Shared Discovery, the show and podcast dedicated to sharing the many exciting aspects of games, gaming, and computer gaming, especially. And I'm your host, Victor, and today I'm joined again by my co-host, Ron. Ron, how you doing?
Good, as always, Victor. Very good. Yourself?
I'm very good. I am excited to talk about an aspect of gaming that we've always done together, computer gaming.
Yes.
This is our main, at least for me, this has been the main form of gaming since, 2005, I think, for me.
Yeah, we just had a lot of computers laying around and a lot of friends who were into computers, so it was just the natural.
I think it was the friends. I think it was you and the gang who were playing all those. Started with like the Steam games and had some WoW friends, RuneScape friends,
Half-Life mods, Gary's mod.
Then it became League of Legends, and I was just like, I guess I'm a computer gamer now.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be talking about all of the pros and cons, benefits, the downsides to being a computer gamer.
Because it's a messy, complicated thing being a gamer, and PC gaming, console gaming, they've been pitted against each other. They've been best friends. They've been alongside each other the whole way. But like PC gaming, it's a whole different beast than console
It is a very
gaming.
different beast. And honestly, I had this disclaimer a little later, but I think that's a good segue to say that we are not trying to gatekeep your gaming experience with this episode.
Nor would we ever want there to be gatekeeping between like consoles or PCs or any gaming, really. Because I do it all.
Oh, same.
Yeah.
Like, while we are predominantly PC gamers,
Yeah.
don't do it all. I have a Switch
Same.
at home. I play the PS4 all the time. So I had an Xbox 360 growing up, too.
Yeah.
So,
Battlefront 2 on the PlayStation 2 is still my jam to this day.
that one.
Yeah.
That holds up better than the new Battlefronts.
So we have a drinking game I'll have to tell you about sometime.
Okay,
But you
okay.
don't drink, so never mind.
I like to observe.
Yeah. Water.
It looks fun.
Yeah. It's a thing.
It's a thing. Looks like a good time. I'm excited to hear about that post-show. But again, not gatekeeping because we do it all. We just want to inform you if you're thinking about becoming a PC gamer or getting your friends into PC gaming, like how I got into PC gaming.
Right.
So, before that, housekeeping, cleaning the house. We have to let you know, and we have to demand you to go to Instagram, or you can't keep watching.
Yep. Go to Instagram under pain of not being able to watch anymore. Is that what we're saying?
I think so.
It's not much of a threat, but
Right.
it's there.
I was thinking fingers lost. No.
We're not the Yakuza, dude,
No, you're
bro.
Right, you're right.
Bro.
No, too much.
Too much.
Ron keeping me in line.
Too early.
Too early. We'll get to
Maybe
that.
later when we have a cult develop.
Sure. But yeah, check us out on Instagram. We're joking about it, but that's where you can keep up to date on all of our gameplay episodes. You can see what we're doing with our set. I've been thinking about this, Ron. I've been thinking about recently, what if we did some gameplay episodes?
I want to do more gameplay episodes.
I really want to.
Yeah.
We got that nice podcasting studio with the massive table in there.
Oh, yeah.
So that would be the place to know when we're doing that. Also, YouTube is where you can watch them.
With the eyes.
With the eyeballs.
Yes.
And we recommend going there because we have some really visual episodes. We did the Valentine's episode, did some cool editing, multiple podcasts.
That's one's all about the editing,
Yep.
that one.
And, okay, so where can they contact us directly? Like, if they want to come and say, PC gaming's bad and you need to know about it, where can they do that?
The Shared Discovery Show at gmail.com.
Yeah.
Or hit us up on Instagram at Shared Discovery, right?
Absolutely. And please do. We'd love to read those off and hear that dialogue. So, okay, I got a question for you.
Hit me.
Top of the episode. What is your history with PC gaming?
Okay. So, yeah, randomly one day my parents bought a PC. They're just like, check out this new thing that's widely available. I think it was one of those Dell, like, cow box, like, prepackaged.
You know,
Thing was a hunk of junk.
the cow box, that just like, that sent me back.
Yeah, right?
Whoa.
I didn't think about that for 20 years.
Yeah, holy cow. Dang.
And, yeah, that was our first computer, and we got, like, StarCraft and Warcraft and, like, just whatever would run on this thing, because it was supposed to be an office computer.
Yep.
And we started like, oh, what can we do to make it better? And making it better over time. And then we got a custom computer that my brother and I like really wanted and worked to get, and this sort of thing. But it was just kind of like making it work. As long as I've been PC gaming, I've never had a top of the line rig. I've just sort of been cobbling something together and like playing on low settings, like potato computer, and like I have this laptop. Yes. I still have it somewhere. It's like this was my gaming computer for years, and it's just like
you're sending me back. Man.
Yeah, I can barely do Microsoft Word, and I'm like trying to play Minecraft. It's just,
dude, I was a low settings gamer.
Yeah,
for a long
Clippy
time.
lagging out your rig.
Step one of all games, all computer games. Step one, open the settings. Okay, where's potato setting?
Yeah.
Where is low?
That's like most of my history with it.
It hurts, man.
Yeah, right?
You know, I did that for a lot of games, and WoW was probably one of the first like real computer games I played.
Yeah.
Classic World of Warcraft vanilla, and that game honestly wasn't that hard on a system. I barely had to turn down the settings.
It was great.
But League, lowest settings, lowest possible settings for that thing. But it was about the same for me. My grandparents gave my mom their old cow box, as you call it. I love that. I have not heard that, but that is what they were.
That's what it was.
That was what it was. And I would play anything I could on it. Minesweeper.
Flash games.
Oh, yeah. We deal with the laggy Flash games.
Yes.
It would lag so hard. And then...
dial up waiting for that.
The one that comes to mind is like there's a stick dude with the arrow. Yeah. They'd hit the arcs. And then, let's see... From there, another substantial game I played that had substance to it was RuneScape. Mm-hmm. Friend group got into that. So I think the first two computer games with actual substance were RuneScape and WoW. Mm-hmm. And then there was a shift to the Steam games when the Orange Box came out. Portal blew my mind. Still does. Like
I think it blew everyone's mind.
Holy cow.
This is right. It's mind-blowing.
From there, I'm like, I need a computer. Like, I need this. I never got a good one until later in life. So when you're saying you had this laptop, I'm like, yeah, my $250 Walmart laptop went through some punishment.
Yes. Even now, my tower, like, sweats when I'm, like, thinking about playing Baldur's Gate. It's like, please don't. Please don't.
Please, come on. I'm in retirement. Stop.
I'm 10 years old.
Man, you know how old that is in PC life?
I've only updated the graphics card, and it's like, maybe I should think about some other upgrades.
You know, maybe. Just, like, set some tips aside or something.
Right?
For Black Friday.
Just couple.
So I wanted to just get that out there to say, like, we are PC gamers. We've been there for a while, so we can speak directly to these pros, these cons. So I thought it would be really fun for one of us to take the pros, one of us to take the cons, and just go back and forth, one bullet point at a time.
I love it, and I, of course, in loving this, want to be the pros.
You want to be the pros? Yeah. Okay, I will be the cons today. So why don't we kick it off? Let's flip it. We'll start with the negative. We'll get that out of the way.
Oh, okay.
And we'll end with positive because this is some good stuff.
Yeah,
so
we want to end on a high note,
We want to end on a high note. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And I keep doing this echolalia, and I hate it since you pointed it out.
Echolalia. You gotta say it twice.
Tell them what that is.
It's whenever you hear something that like your brain thinks is like a good sound or like a nice sounding words, or maybe somebody you like is saying something that you like, your brain may just automatically want you to say it in response or like just copy it. It's along the same lines of mimicry is a sign of flattery, right? It's like, oh, I like that, so I want to say it. He said cellar door, so I'll be like, yeah, cellar door. Hype men are based on this whole thing. It's like, yeah, I just said some wicked line or diss, and then they just
repeat it in the
back it up, yell it loud so everyone can hear it, right? Yeah. Echolalia. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I do that a lot, but now I know it's a term of endearment.
Yeah.
Like mimicking behavior when people are copying you, I will say unintentionally. Because people are copying you intentionally. It's, mockery, but unintentionally they're just doing it. And you're like, why are you copying me? It's like, I don't know. I think you're cool.
Yeah.
So I'm noticing it and I'm irritated, but it's a thing of flattery. But anyway, back on topic here.
Yes.
first con, and I think we need to get it out of the way. It's just really important to start with this. The price. The price.
Cha-ching.
It's pretty expensive.
Yeah, keeping up with the Joneses, not just the hardware, but the games. Games come out so fast, so thick and furious that, like, are you gonna keep up with all these? Like Steam, GOG, Epic, like they all have their own unique releases too. So it's like almost like you're keeping up with like multiple libraries now, and then there's stuff to look out for, like scams or like early access games that may not fulfill their promises and stuff. So then you've just invested money, but it's kind of a wild out there. It's kind of a wild country.
It really is. And so I got a lot of these points from Reddit, and what one person said was it's a higher entry point.
Bingo. That's a great way of putting it.
Right. And so especially you have these higher expectations for the computers over and over. I need this graphic card. I need to be able to run this. I need to be able to run this. And so as that increases, costs go up. Right. So price is a huge point here, where a computer, top-of-the-line computer, is always going to cost more than a console.
Every single time. And it's probably not going to be top of the line as long as, say, a console is. Because the consoles, they release them intermittently every few years to like give people time, right? But PC is like, no, every single day there's a new something coming out, I swear.
Yes. It's overwhelming. Like we saw just these past few years, the graphic card, like it was like a boom. Where they exploded with how expensive they were. And I was constantly seeing on Reddit, it's like, oh, I need another one. Oh, I need another one. Oh, there's this one. I need this one. They were crazy expensive. Like I can't. And there are people that always want the best thing.
Man, and ray tracing coming out now, like consoles will find a way to make it affordable, or at least somewhat less crippling. But like, if you want cutting edge graphics, ray tracing, 4K, like plus,
you got to keep updating the thing. You got to keep, like you said, you got to graph cards one time, but if there are people that I need the best thing, I'm gonna get that thing, and it's gonna drain you.
Yeah, I'm much more of a I got a top end PC 10 years ago, and then when something fails or isn't up to snuff anymore, that's when it gets updated. Otherwise, we ride.
And I think that's a reasonable, a cost-effective way to do it.
Right.
Because honestly, you're at 10 years, and you got your money's worth out of that thing.
When it came out, I played the top-of-the-line games, and now that it's out, well, it still plays the top-of-the-line games, but it's in potato mode, so all right, it still plays.
And you're like, 10 years later, maybe it's time to start thinking about.
Yeah.
Just start thinking about some upgrades.
I need some more RAM.
You need some more RAM.
It's bad.
So we had to start with the price. It is the deciding factor. Yes. No matter what else we talk about today, this is the number one deciding factor of what you're going to play.
Number one motivator, number one deciding factor. I've heard countless people be like, I'm not getting into PC because it's so expensive.
And there are affordable ways to do it, which we can get into for sure. Right. And I have found affordable ways. I found, I think it's called Next, but they have like refurbished computers. And I've been able to find like a top of the line, not like tippy top, but like mid top, like medium quality computer that does everything I need. And so it's still more expensive than a console, but I think it's going to last that 10-year point like you.
Yeah, I feel like there's also another con hidden in there where, like, you got to know what you're doing.
Oh, we got that.
That's
the next bullet.
That's the next one.
Let's do a pro.
Let's do a pro before I get ahead of myself. So I'm like, this is nested. The best and brightest thing about video gaming is it's your PC gaming, not video gaming. See, I mixed that up. It's the biggest game library by far compared to any console of any generation. PC gaming beats it hands down. Because it has games from consoles. It has its own unique games. And the unique games on PC are way more numerous than like anything on the consoles. Like, it's just insanity. I think in the previous episode we talked about all these different market platforms like itch.io and GOG, and just the number of games on those that are just, it's insanity. The amount of games coming out every day, and yeah, you don't usually have to worry about not being able to get a game either, because cross compatibility, like they'll make games for the console available for the PC.
Yeah, and we talked about the preservation that's going on with older games too.
Yep.
With a computer, you can basically access it.
Yeah, and there's tons of games that aren't in development anymore, but then people will, using their computers, using the PCs, start developing these games that don't work anymore and make them actually work and bring back old games. And it's like not just the companies, but like hobbyists and stuff are huge in PC gaming.
Oh, huge.
Huge that keep games running long after they should be. I think that's how old school World of Warcraft, the classic WoW.
That's how it started, yeah. So it started with private servers where the people had these classic servers where people would just flood to them. Like, that's an experience we want to get back. We want to play that 2006 World of Warcraft. And there was one server that exploded, having 800,000 people, just a private server. Blizzard shut it down and was really vocal about saying that you think you do. There's the infamous quote. You think that you want that, but you don't, right? And they ended up having to cave. And now, as of 2020, there are classic WoW servers just open on Blizzard because they couldn't deny it.
I couldn't deny it. And that's another thing I feel about PC gaming that's pretty big. With comes the library, comes the fans, comes all of the hobbyists, and comes all of the like pushing companies to like do things and step out of the box, or maybe develop in ways that they don't normally. Like PC gaming, like I said, it's just wild west.
It really is.
Anything could happen.
So such dedicated people within the PC community that put so much time into it. We have a friend, he works at Rockstar, right? And his big hobby growing up was modding Half-Life 2.
He made the Zombie Master mod.
Yeah,
like,
he made that.
What? He made the map of the Winchester pub for Zombie Master mod, which, like, if you played the mod, you know this map. It's the Shaun of the Dead map. Like, he made that. And I've talked to people years separated from hanging out with Joe and, like, just chatting to people like, oh, you remember those silly mods and stuff? And, like, I knew the guy who made that map. And they're like, man, that was the best.
The best, yeah.
What?
And it's just so dedicated. He still is dedicated. You can see him on Steam regularly modding Half-Life Alexa.
Yeah.
Alex, yeah. And where he has like 2,000 plus hours in that game. Like, what's he doing? I'm like, oh yeah, he's modding. He's keeping that community alive. And any game out there, any game that's popular, that community is there. Awesome. But we probably just jumped ahead, so let's get to a con.
We hit too many points. Yep, hit it.
Okay, I think this is a good segue.
Yep.
We talked about there being a lot. So what comes with a lot? Research.
Yes.
Yes. So there is a decent amount, a lot of research required to save money when buying a computer, to know the computer that you need for your to get the right computer for your needs is the way I'd say it.
Because you can spend a fortune on something that's not gonna do what you want it to, I guess. Like, video editing computer may be able to handle a lot of, like, taxing stuff, but it may not have, like, a specific, I don't know, modem or something. Or video card or randomest things will happen with hardware.
Exactly. So it's a pretty daunting task, honestly, because, okay, think about the consoles. There's one. You want the PlayStation 5, you got the PlayStation 5 and maybe the premium version S or whatever.
Yeah, you want to play the most
one or two
cool game for the console, you just buy it, you put it in, and you play it most of the time.
How many options are there for a computer?
Dude, like, I mean, there's no guarantee it'll even start or boot up. I mean,
yeah, because I made this mistake too, because I had a GameCube growing up, Any GameCube game I had, I popped in, I played. So I was like, well, I can just go to Walmart and buy a computer, right?
It just works, yeah.
It'll just work, right? Got laughed at by the friends because they're like, oh, so naive. I'm like, I am. And so you have to know, you have to have like some entry level of information. You don't have to be an adept, but you got to know a little bit of what you're getting into. Or you have to know someone who knows what they know, that knows that stuff.
Right, because you can easily get scammed, conned, like one pulled over you because they're trying to sell you an extremely expensive piece of machinery. They don't care really about your needs or wants. They just want to sell you the thing and get the money.
Exactly. Right? And that's why it's so important to know someone within that community and do that research, especially if the best way to save money is to build your own computer. But that is a daunting task.
Yeah, even more
really
research.
Tedious,
and really
even
tedious.
more research. So maybe you do your research and say, okay, I can save X amount of money, but the effort isn't worth that.
Right, and thinking of like time is money too, right? The effort is money, so you got to think, what's your time worth to you?
Exactly.
Is that worth it? Does that balance out?
That's where I landed. I didn't build it because I said, I'm going to pay the little bit of extra because that's a lot.
It is a lot, and it's only gotten more as time goes on. It hasn't gotten simpler or easier.
It hasn't, and that's just how tech goes. So complexity and research is a con there. So what about the next pro?
The next pro is the longevity of games. Consoles come and go every couple of years, and then they never seem to be reverse compatible. So you can never play those old games that you liked on the old ones. So you got to keep a bunch of consoles around, and that's extra space. Whereas with a PC, they got good old games. You can play old games. They've got hobbyists, crazy Russian hobbyists who make mods for games that are 20 years old, and then it's like it works fine or whatever. But it's like...
And honestly, on this backwards compatibility, that's so disappointing.
It is. It's a crying shame.
Because I remember the PlayStation 2, the Wii, the Xbox 360 were all backwards compatible.
Yep.
All of them. You could pop in a GameCube disc into the Wii, the Xbox game into the 360, and a PlayStation 1 game into the PS2, and they could all play them. And that's when I was growing up in the thick of gaming. And so the next generation came out, and I said, "That why? Why can't they?"
It wasn't a priority.
It wasn't a priority.
They wanted to sell games.
So why can't the PS4 play that, PS2, or that?
Because then
Why can't the PS3 game play the PS2? Oh.
Because you'll just play those games. You won't buy any new ones.
You won't buy new ones. It's all about the money. I know. It's so disappointing.
It is. It really is. But it's like one of the best parts of PC gaming, you know, is that like, yeah, if a game stops working, you or somebody else can maybe get it working again.
Truly. There is some, like, so there's no guarantee, what someone said here, there's no guarantee on consoles that your old game will work, right? So if an old game stops working, it was a mistake and not intentionally ripped away from you, like in consoles. And I really like what this person said is, I can boot up Call of Duty from the very first game all the way to the newest one on my PC. My PlayStation 5 cannot do the same.
And like, that's true for Call of Duty, but maybe not all the games, because like they'll take some tinkering or whatever. And
Back
it's
to
that
the research.
And time is money, and what's your time worth to you? But also, that sentiment's very true, is you can just keep playing the old games that you had, as long as they weren't live services and go offline. You're good.
You're good. You're golden.
You got the data. You're good. Just run the executable.
Just get rid of that DRM.
Right.
So, okay, this kind of blends into these last ones. We talk about flexibility and options. Well, with computer games comes launchers. Launchers and launchers and launchers. You want to play this game, you got to get Steam. You want to play this game, you got to get the Epic Store. You want to play this Ubisoft game, you got to play Blizzard, you got to get this. And now Larian has one.
Dude, my favorite is when you're playing a like Ubisoft game from Steam, so then you have to launch the Steam launcher to launch the Ubisoft launcher, so then you're launching from the launcher's launcher.
That happens with Larian.
Yeah.
I'm like, what did you didn't need that? You didn't have that for Divinity.
Why did you need this? Paradox does it too. They have a launcher.
There's a launcher for everything. And so what happens here is that your friends are just scattered across the launchers.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what's nice about the consoles is whenever any of your friends are playing on the console, they're one message away.
And that used to be the nice thing about Steam, but Steam.
People saw how successful Steam was. Like, we want a launcher too.
Yeah, cut of the pie.
Cut of the pie. So yes, the disjointed games all over the place is pretty annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Like I started RuneScape again recently just for a nostalgia hit, and now they have a launcher too. Woo! Go Jagex!
And like most of the launchers that I've seen are just like vehicles for ads.
They're just ads. Even the Larian one, they're just selling their board game there. And I was like, oh cool, a board game, but it's just full of microtransactions. It's a Kickstarter style game, so the base game is $150, and I did the math. It costs $400 to get the whole thing.
Is it a good game?
I don't know.
I can't say,
but it's there.
Yeah.
So yes, that was one that came up a lot in the research. It's just like, oh, you have to download so many different things.
It didn't used to be like this. I swear. I swear, guys, it didn't. It was never this bad.
I swear. It was nice. Like, monopolies are bad, but Steam was unified. It was nice.
I started a game the other day. The launcher started, and then it like crashed and gave me like the launcher's not starting, and then it launched anyway without getting rid of the error thing.
So you don't need that.
So every time I started, like errors, and it's like, no, but I'm fine.
I'm fine though. I don't need this launcher. I just want you to look at my ads.
Yeah, what is this?
Anyway, let's get us out of this. Talk about something good.
Please, launchers do damage to my psyche. Oh yeah, this is is it debatable? I don't think so. I think this is pretty much like a home run for PC games. Is that they're just going to be cheaper?
They're just cheaper.
Sales are awesome.
Constant.
I've told a console gamer about Steam sales once, and it like nuclear meltdown
Dude, I
in their
remember
brain.
one summer, I had $50. I got a $50 Steam card, and I bought 15 games.
Yeah.
Were they all good? No.
I never buy a game full price.
But I just did. I just did it, and it was fantastic.
That's just it. And like Humble Bundle, we've mentioned in the previous episode, but they are notorious for selling games extraordinarily cheap, like good games, bundles of games, indie games, every type of game for a good cause, and then you just fill out your library. That's how I got most of mine.
Humble Bundle's crazy too. Sometimes it's like $6. You get all 10 of these games. You have to reread it. What? That's unheard of on consoles. The cheapest thing you used to get is like, they'd have the $5 game bin.
I was gonna say
Meyer,
GameStop,
and they're bad. Those are the bad games.
It's all the like Cabela's hunting and stuff like that.
FIFA again.
Whoa, man! You might get the people angry at us if you knock the sports games.
We got to do a sports games episode, I think.
Because
they are games.
Football Manager, telling you, one of the best games ever made.
Is it better than the football game?
Yes.
Is it really?
Yes.
Huh, okay.
Because it's actually like developed and like has depth.
Huh, okay. Listen, I'm not gonna get this. I'm not saying knocking the sports games themselves.
Yeah,
I'm
they have
knocking
depth.
the mass
They're fun.
production. Like every
how
can you do it different each year?
You can't.
It's a sport. Sports don't change.
I think it's just for the rosters.
Oh, that's true. Just the roster. You got me. I understand.
But there's DLC and updates.
But
can you just
like,
release a roster update?
The sport is always the same. So release the roster update.
Yeah.
Because it's just basically a skin because all the players do the same thing. How much depth can there be?
I would definitely get the DLC that makes the crowds just a little more detailed.
Honestly, some of those old sports games, it was iconic how bad they looked.
It was.
But I think it's important right now, Ron, for
Yes.
those cheaper games to fly our Jolly Roger.
We should and do often. Yeah,
Do
fly the
often.
Jolly Roger.
We are. You'll know what that means.
Yeah, if you're in the know, you're in the know.
If you know, you know.
But yeah, cheap games, love them. Can't live without them.
That's honestly what kept me there.
Just like the best stuff.
It
Really,
really-
just be cheap. Like wait a year.
Just wait a year. Like Oh,
If you're patient, you can just wait.
just avoid spoilers and wait a year. Or just play it with spoilers. Who cares? It still will be fun. Up next on the cons, we have noisy fans and the physical heat of the computer.
Oh, like the fan
The
that's
fan.
literally buzzing.
Yeah. This is something that after having a tower for the first time and two towers like
Right next to each other.
4 feet away.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've noticed this in my life. Oh, this is a real thing. And it heats up the room. You just can't have the heat on, or you gotta have the air conditioning on in the summer.
Man, the sweatiest days of my life was when we would get our computers together and do LAN parties.
LAN
It
parties.
would just cook us in those rooms.
That was some serious meat sweat, dude.
so
It
bad.
was so bad.
Just swimming in our own juices.
Oh gosh. Yes, those were the days though. Those were fun. I will say
perimeter?
as the consoles get more intense, they're starting to do this too. So like the PS5s, the modern Xboxes, they're closer to they're basically outdated computers,
Just
right?
angry fan noises.
So they're getting louder too. But this is definitely a computer thing for sure. You see online on the Reddit, you see the fans and the silly ways people cool their
Liquid
computer.
cooling.
Yeah.
Come on, really.
Okay, Ron, this is the most important pro of the day.
Mods! Exclamation point.
Bolded.
Bolded! Exclamation point. Mods! This is the holy grail of video gaming.
This is why you play computer.
Why play a Bethesda game the way it is when you can make it the way you want it to be? You can have all the best graphics, all of the best textures, and more gameplay. And that cut content that they cut, it's not cut anymore.
Come back.
Come back. We've got mods for you.
Yeah, mods. You can go back to older patches that are gone.
There's complete redos of video games where they'll take
Oblivion?
a video. Yeah. They're making Skyrim in Oblivion, and there was like a full release like mystery murder video game that was made inside of like Oblivion or something like that.
Heard of this?
Yeah, and it's like
so
based
cool.
in Roman times, and it's crazy.
Did you see the 4K overhaul for Oblivion?
No, what?
Yeah.
4K in Oblivion?
Check this out. Yeah, someone completely overhauled the game in 4K.
I can't wait to see the horse armor. It's gonna be brilliant.
So we will and do a whole episode on mods because this is the
Please.
point. This is the point of gaming. It's like, man, you can play Goku and Skyrim.
Right? It's Goku and Skyrim. You can turn the dragons into trains. You can do all sorts of fun stuff.
I love the Thomas the Train mods.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite, dude.
Or
Did you see that? So there's that new horror like spider game. It's spider train game where you're on an island with this like monster train with legs that chases you.
What?
And you have to build like traps and stuff to kill it while it's like stalking you.
That's awesome.
It's super cool. But of course they've made that into Thomas the Train.
Yeah.
That you should check it out. It came out in the fall last year.
I'm on it. You know I love indie games. And
We could gush about mods all day.
dude, Kenshi, one of the Kickstarter games that was a success. That's all about modding. Like I can go on about mods.
And
forever.
I love when companies embrace modding communities. I love it and just open it up for the community. Like we have Terraria is huge with that. They're like, we love what you're doing.
A Bethesda is pretty much
Yeah.
like, why make games when we can have modders do it for us? Like they're out there. They're awesome.
But Ron, there's some
Can't say
downsides to
myself.
mods.
Is there?
There are.
I'm scared. What is it?
It can be more fun to tweak your settings than actually play the game.
Oh man.
This person says, I think this is a joke one, but I mean, this has happened to me once or twice. You spend 3 days modding a game, and you finally got it all up and running, and you don't feel like playing it anymore. This came from Batman on Reddit.
Again, Bethesda games. I think we had a quote in a previous episode, I'm not sure which one, about how they would just spend all this time building the perfect mod
It was the
list.
15-step process.
Yeah, where it just ends with taking pictures and closing the game.
Closing the game, yeah.
Because it's like, it's beautiful. I don't really want to play this.
So the con here kind of is with options. with too many options, it can keep you from doing the thing.
Yeah, what is that? Overwhelm, little option overwhelm, where it's like you go into a store and they have 200 kinds of Kit Kats. You're just like
option selection paralysis.
Selection paralysis.
Yes.
Yeah, where you're just like,
That's what it feels like
too
going
much.
to these modding pages. It's like I'm in a candy store.
It's almost in a game in itself.
Yeah.
Like building your mod.
It really
list.
is. Like, Tabletop Simulator.
Yeah.
I've gone on there and just sifted.
I want to
through
try this
mods.
game. I want to try this game.
I want to try this game. I want to get these pieces for this D&D campaign I'm running. So anyway, mods are great.
Mods.
But they can lead to selection paralysis because if you were playing the vanilla, the original game on a console, you pop it in, that's what you got.
There it is.
That's it.
That's what it is.
Okay, what is another pro, Ron?
Another pro.
I hate that this is a thing.
Is this? Yeah, this drove me away from consoles.
Me too.
This is what did it.
This killed it
Nothing
for
else
me.
did.
Yeah.
I love consoles. This is it. Free multiplayer. Can't beat it.
Why can we say that?
Because
I hate it.
Microsoft thought it was cool to do the like online pass, Xbox Live,
and it was so successful because of Halo. Only because of Halo.
That's it. And I'm guilty of doing this as well. I played Halo Reach like crazy when it came out. Like free multiplayer, yeah. And PC gaming, like I've got tons of different multiplayer sessions of like Civilization going. I'm a part of a bunch of online communities for strategy games where this is like 60-person matches of like strategy games.
That's sweet.
People all over the world. I'm like playing against freaking like there's an Ethiopian guy, there's a Georgian person, there's somebody from France. And
That's so cool.
It's wild, and it's just like this is just a part of the game.
Yeah.
You don't pay extra for it.
No, you don't buy the game and then pay to be able to access the game fully online. That really drove me awake. And that's so when Xbox 360 did that with the Xbox Live, that was PlayStation's 3 selling point, was saying, well, you can play our Call of Duty online for free. But then they saw how successful Xbox Live was, and they're like, well, people would charge like $5. Is that okay? I don't care if it's okay, because if you want to play Call of Duty, it's okay.
And like the subscription services are a thing.
Yeah.
Like with World of Warcraft.
That's true.
Like pay to play, but it's not just the multiplayer. That's the game, right?
Yeah, for $15 a month, if you put in enough time, you have access to all that, right?
And that was back when servers actually servers still cost a lot of money, but that's when they needed the money for servers. Yeah. Now it's like.
And I will say, since
incredible.
2004, that $15 is still $15.
It's still 15 because that's a lot of money.
It is. It adds up. I've spent some money on that game. Not anymore, because listen, mods, private servers.
Waving the flag.
Wave that Jolly Roger, folks.
Skull and crossbones.
Yes. Okay.
Give it a salute as it goes by.
I think it's my turn, right, for a con? I'm just going to wrap these up. I'm just going to wrap these up into hardware problems.
Just a big ball.
So we got troubleshooting hardware and keeping your system up to date.
Ugh. Both gross things.
Exactly. So when something doesn't work, it's up to you. You got to comb through those forums. You got to ask Reddit. You got to troubleshoot it.
There's no nerd squad to bail you out. They're just going to be like, pay us a lot of money and we might fix it.
So that's why it's good to have friends, the nerd friends, right? Yeah. The geek.
Geek friends.
Geek is the tech stuff.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought it was just someone who had like a thing.
I don't know.
Like I'm a geek about.
I was just told in high school with our computer friends, we don't call them nerds, they're geeks. There's a difference. Geeks were the techie aspect. That's bad. Maybe we gotta look this up.
Should look into that.
Yeah.
Don't want to offend anybody.
No, I don't want to offend the geeks and the nerds because I fall on that spectrum somewhere. But I like this quote. Mm-hmm. This person says, "Stuff just goes wrong, and there's fluffing about to be had."
There's a lot of fluffing about to be had. The internet just wouldn't work on my computer the other day, and I was like, "All right, let's start seeing what happens." took me hours to go through, like, okay, maybe it was this, maybe it was that. And then I was finally like, all right, let's go look at the hardware. And I look inside, and it's just unplugged a little bit.
Just a little bit.
And I'm like, okay, let's try it. And it works fine.
Yep.
Hours of my day gone. That was my day off.
Now you know for next time.
You just bump it in.
That I hate that. I hate that when it's a simple fix.
Yeah.
And so you have to update your drivers. And this ties right into it. Can be difficult to jump right into a game because of this. Like computers often have like a slower boot up time. You got to update them yourselves. You got to figure out the problems yourself. And the problems are often different because computers are very different. But if you have a PlayStation 5, this PlayStation has a problem. This one has a problem. It's the same hardware. You don't have to look as hard.
And they probably have a warranty. A lot of computers don't have warranties and stuff because it's like you're going to be tinkering with this thing. Part of the PC gaming is tinkering with your computer, right? It's like keeping it up to snuff because nobody's going to do it for you.
Exactly. Yeah. And the last thing I have in this hardware issue thing is ports of older games can be difficult because of abandonware, but we did talk about how that's starting to be remedied by modders, right?
And it kind of remedied, you know.
It's not perfect.
If there isn't somebody who's interested in that game, it just disappears.
What I was reading here is that some games aren't updated to the most recent version of Windows, right? Or don't have this Mac port. And so you would have to go get a computer with Windows 7 or something to play an old game.
Or there's some crazy person out there who loves the game as much as you, but they have the know-how to bring it into the modern age. Yes. But if you don't have that, you're just out of luck.
Exactly. If it's not popular enough, it was a niche game that you played, could just be lost, and that is called abandonware, which is software that is no longer sold commercially or supported.
And there's tons of this out there. It's not even just games. Like, there is so much abandonware. It's insane. Just tons of it.
Exactly. So I wanted to just wrap that up into like hardware problems.
Yeah.
But what's another pro we got here?
Another pro? We have another pro?
We have a couple more pros.
This is one that I feel like is... The consoles try to get into it a little bit with like it's customizability. It's customizability. PC's infinitely customizable.
Yes.
Like we were mentioned with like there's a bunch of different cooling systems, there's a bunch of different cases, there's monitors, towers, there's everything you can think of. There's like a unique way you can construct it and build it. Same goes with like your actual PC, like the organization system, the like your desktop, your files, like how you have everything arranged, your mods. It's just all right there.
Yeah, it's like from the hardware to the processing, like out and in. You have control over how you want it to
Every
function.
Single inch of it.
To an extent. Stupid Windows.
Right. It didn't used to be a huge thing, but they've started cutting off access to parts of
They have.
Windows.
And it's like the bar at the bottom. There's like a news bar. And if you even curse over it slightly, it just pops up. Like a quarter of the screen. I'm like, this is a virus.
Nobody asked for this.
Nobody asked for this.
Yeah, that is a virus. That's like Bonzi Buddy or like...
But otherwise...
Yeah.
But even then, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, oh, well, then you have access to Linux. Right? Like that doesn't have everything, but it's way more customizable. You're not going to have the Windows problem.
But you have the Linux problem of being insanely complicated. You have to learn how to code to use it pretty much. I've tried to do it without knowing how to code, and it's close to impossible, I would say.
But that's an option that consoles don't have.
Right.
And one of the things I liked, this person said, you have control over your device compared to the walled garden approach of consoles.
Yeah, it's perfectly curated and taken to, and it's going to work right out of the box, but you're not going to change it. It is the way it is.
That's how it
if
is.
you mess with it, it's like jailbreaking, and you're in trouble, right? Like, you jailbreak a Nintendo system, like, well, boy, you're breaking laws. We're going to get you. That doesn't happen with PC.
Not really. And then it's like... I like this garden analogy because, like, think about consoles. You can get different colored controllers or headsets, but that's
in the garden.
You can, like, that's like trimming.
Yeah.
Trimming some hedges.
Right.
The computer, like, you could just go to a different garden.
entirely.
You don't even. It doesn't even have to be a garden.
You know, you can have a computer on your computer, and ask me how that makes sense. Like,
You can do it though.
you can do it.
And so, another big thing I saw with this customizability is mouse and keyboard play.
Dude.
Just having the choice to say, this game works better with mouse and keyboard, this game works better with controller. Oh, thank you. That choice is awesome. Like, I started Power World with controller because I saw it was controller support. And if a game feels really good with controller, I'm just going to do it. Because I like chilling on the couch. Didn't feel good. It sucked. So I was like, okay, mouse and keyboard. What a relief.
Clicks.
And then it clicks.
I feel that way about a lot of shooters. Is like, I can't hit anything with this knob that I'm twisting around. But as soon as you give me a mouse, I'm just like...
Pew, pew. It's very precise. It's so much more precise.
Oh, yeah.
And so, yeah, customizability is huge. Okay. I have a really... You might attest to this one. Here's a big con. There's no Bloodborne on the computer.
Yeah. Yeah, I almost bought a PlayStation just for that. You are under my skin, sir. This is uncomfortable.
Sorry.
This is a crime against humanity.
Yeah, so you lose out on console exclusives.
Only sometimes though. Like, this doesn't happen.
Doesn't
now.
happen.
Like, Uncharted is the only one I can think of off the top of my head that didn't come to PC. And I might even be wrong because I think they released an Uncharted anthology recently. So like, Bloodborne. Come on, they even released Persona 5.
I was reading that it got scrapped. Like, they couldn't... The version of Bloodborne they had for a computer, they just couldn't get it to the quality they wanted, so they scrapped it. And they're like, just play it on the PlayStation.
That's so heartbreaking.
I know.
It makes sense though if you look at the Dark Souls PC ports; they're not up to snuff.
Yeah,
gotta say.
Exactly. So that's the thing. Like, computer has the biggest access to everything, but you lose some exclusive, like great exclusives.
Yeah, and sometimes the access is not the best.
Yeah.
Like with Dark Souls, it's not. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And janky.
It's a little. It's port. That's gonna happen with ports sometimes too, but at least it's there. Unlike Bloodborne. Bloodborne.
I'll never stop being angry about it.
Well, let's talk about something good.
All right.
Keep being angry, but let's talk about something good.
Yeah, computers, PC computers, desktop, laptop, they have higher quality potential. Potential. So that's higher frame rates, higher resolutions. You can play every Nintendo game with better performance. I'm not gonna say how. Just putting it out there.
I liked this was from one person on Reddit. You know,
from Reddit. This isn't from us.
No, this isn't from
I wouldn't know anything about this.
This is. I don't know. I actually don't know if you could do this. But Reddit says so. I believe them.
Yeah, no comment. You can play every Xbox game with better performance. Again, every Xbox game. Not sure how you do that.
I don't know either.
And every PlayStation game with better performance. But we just said you can't do Bloodborne.
It said nearly. This was the only one that they said nearly.
Nearly every PlayStation game.
Yeah.
And that's kind of crazy to me. Like, so we could play Grand Theft Auto 4 on the PC.
I think so.
We could probably. I mean, someone's probably like cracked the code and got it working, right?
Probably. I think so. Maybe the hackers haven't figured out Bloodborne yet. There's time.
I really hope they figure it out.
I hope they figure it out. I just thought that was hilarious. It's like, we can do everything you can, but better.
Sometimes.
Most
of the time.
99.99% of the time. Oh, and I liked this one. I threw this in with higher quality with dual monitors.
Dual
You
monitors.
can just have like really cool ergonomic setups for computers. I feel like it's easy to like. Can you even do dual monitors for consoles?
I don't. What would be on the second monitor?
What would be the point?
Like the home screen? Xbox home screen?
Yeah, what?
Netflix, maybe?
Maybe Netflix, yeah.
But like, it's not just dual. Like, you can have a whole battle station, like 20 monitors or whatever. Like, I don't know if it's practical.
Back to customizability. Maybe that's in customizability.
I think
these points overlap a little. It's okay.
There's a lot of overlap here.
and I realizing now I'm looking at the cons.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like inconsistent controller support should have went in with hardware problems.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just do that real quick. But it's like some games don't have the controller support. Like Raft was a big one for me. I was playing that with mouse and keyboard. I'm like, this feels like it would be optimized for controller. They just don't have it yet. Or
I wondered about that
I
one.
wondered. It felt like it would be a pretty good controller game.
Like that's what it would be for.
Yeah.
All right.
But again, back to customizability, I saw that there was some tech bro that figured out a software that allow you to use your controller with that game. I didn't want to go through the process though.
Oh my goodness! If you can't wait for the developers, there's a modder somewhere.
So this is maybe the biggest con of the day, I think. Up there with price. It's just the elitism.
Oh, I was
in
gonna
the PC
say
community.
the troubleshooting, but yeah, elitism is annoying.
Yeah, I mean, what is the name of the biggest PC gaming subreddit?
The PC Master Race.
Yeah, and it started out as satire, as you were telling me,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still like, ugh.
Like the dude who came up with the term is like, I don't even want to think about it anymore because it's like grown a whole life of its own.
Yeah,
And like it sets an awful message, like Master Race, what's that about? And like the graphics associated with it is like some like hulking, gleaming, like legendary figure, you know? So it is gatekeeping. It is like, no, we're better than everybody else, like blatantly, obviously. So that's weird. It's a thing.
It's really uncomfortable as you come into the PC community, and I even dealt with this growing up too. Like, Google it. So how do I solve this problem? Google it.
Google
How do
it.
I solve this? Google it. Can you just like you know how to do it? Can you just help me? Just Google it. I don't have time for you, you console gamer. And so it is a thing, and we want to say that we don't support the gatekeeping and the elitism. We support playing games, and if someone wants to become a PC gamer, we want to help them.
And there's tons of really helpful guides to get into PC gaming cheap and in like a, you know, cost effective, but like you're going to be playing top of the line games. There's ways to get into it that's not like you got to have the top of the line stuff like the PC Master Race people are saying. Like, you don't have to do that. I don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I go against the grain in that regard. I'm here to save money.
Exactly.
And have a good time. I don't want to have the social pressures to worry about now. What?
Yeah, and I think what's frustrating to me about this discourse too is a lot of this discourse denies the fact that there are benefits and pros to console gaming.
Yeah, ease of use. Who doesn't want to just plop on the couch and fire up the game, immediately starts up, and you're just Bloodborne playing and like fighting some werewolves? Like,
because there are real tangible benefits. It's not purely computers aren't just better.
oh man, and I swear the power drain versus a computer versus a console is like night and day.
True.
You're like, this is a city sucking up a city, like a kilojoule of friggin' energy.
Sorry, I short-circuited the block again.
Yeah, I can't have the microwave on the same circuit as the PC.
That actually happened in your basement. I remember that.
Often.
And you're like, don't use that socket. Oh.
Shuts down everything.
Oops. Wait, don't plug the microwave in there. Oops. Okay, Ron, we're wrapping up here. What is the last pro that we have of the
Bring
day?
it around. The last pro of the day is... It's weird because you think of consoles as being the most convenient avenue of gaming, but PC can also be a rather convenient source of your gaming.
True.
You know, being able to play your game on 2 different devices without losing progress.
I love this.
Yeah, me too. This is something I do with my laptop all the time. If I'm traveling or away at my parents' place or something, I can play all of my games that are on the cloud. And
I love the cloud for this. It's so nice.
I'm not hauling around my huge tower to play medieval Total War that came out in like 04 or whatever.
I'm not gonna haul around my tower for Terraria.
Yeah, not happening, man. I'm just gonna like play it on my laptop, and then when I get home, it'll resync everything.
Still be there. Yeah.
And boom.
And even RuneScape right now. This started out as a computer game, but like on the phone, I just can seamlessly go between the two. So.
And being able to share save files with people.
Yes. Oh, we did this all the time.
Yeah,
Just slap
man.
those babies on a flash drive. Here you go.
I got this moment in this game saved where it's like most challenging or there's something cool gonna happen in the next few, and like play it. And this has saved my bacon multiple times where I've got like save files on jump drive, and then my computer takes a crap and I still got the game saved.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
The ease to back up your content is so nice.
It's so nice.
I learned that from you, and I'm so glad I did, because my backup drive went out, but I had two, so I always back it up. I've learned from the mistakes of the ancestors.
Yep. Our ancestors are applauding you.
Yes. And this one is just cannot be overstated. And this goes back to like, what would you do on the other screen with a console? What would you do on another screen with the PC? Whatever you want. If you have a browser, you can do work. You can do other things.
There's emulators. There's Netflix.
I can do my coding on the other thing. I can write papers. I can Netflix. I can use the browser. I can send emails. I can just do other things on the computer. It doesn't have to just be for gaming.
Right. It's an all-in-one machine. Right. You got it all. I do my taxes on it.
True. And I do. And so I guess the last thing, this is sort of ties right into this. This is the last con I have, but it says easy access to an internet browser can be a big time sink.
Easy access.
And so what they said is just having the browser right there. Oh, I spend all of my gaming time watching YouTube.
Whoops.
Where with the limited selection, access on the console, you're just like, let's boot it up and play.
Dude, just researching can be like, oh, well, that's all I did today, or troubleshooting for this game. We tried to play, the first session we were playing of Civilization, we couldn't play because we had to just like keep troubleshooting why it wasn't working.
Oh, I hate that. It can really lose the momentum and the joy to play a game, especially if you're trying to get new players into a game.
Yeah. Oh my god. And we had a new player,
I
and
swear it was working.
They were so irritated. I'm like, you got to be zen about this. This is multiplayer PC gaming.
This is it.
This is it.
It's gonna happen sometimes.
You just got to accept it.
Take a deep breath.
Yep.
Well, Ron, that wraps it up. Pros, cons of PC gaming.
Yeah,
I
nice
hope you all
and easy.
learned something today. But at the end here, just real quick, what is your favorite aspect of PC gaming?
My favorite aspect of PC gaming is going to be that, like, modding and, like, choose your own way to play.
Yes.
I have taken games that aren't supposed to be economic simulators and turned them into economic simulators just because that's what I like in games.
Nice.
Yeah. What about yourself?
I really think the choice. The choice is the word that comes to mind when I look at all of these.
Oh, yeah.
Right? The choice to say, I'm not playing games today, I'm doing work. Or I'm watching YouTube. I'm doing something else on here. Like, I like that choice. I can't do that on my PS4.
No.
Right? And so that really stood out to me today. But that wraps it up. So if there are any points that we missed, any pros or cons you want to tell us about today, let us know at shareddiscoveryshow@gmail.com. Thanks again for joining us, and thanks again to BCTV for allowing us to put on this awesome production. And let's close. Let's get out of here. What do you think?
Sounds good.
We got some D&D gameplay coming up soon in episode 45, so stay tuned for that. But as we sign off of episode 43 of Shared Discovery, thanks again for joining us. Please make sure to have some fun, be kind to others, and of course, play some PC games or any games, and sign us out, Ron.
Yeah. And remember, riches must be divided, but real wealth can be shared.
Bye. Thanks.
Yeah, we'll see.